Welcome to Proven and Probable. Today we're going to highlight an exploration company that is focused on 3 drill campaigns on the quest for discovering high-grade gold in British Columbia and in Nevada. To find out more, stay tuned. But before we begin, as always, I would appreciate if you click the subscribe button and click the bell. Now, on to today's interview. Joining us for a conversation is Peter Ball, the CEO of NV Gold. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Maurice. I hope you're doing well.
I am, sir. Glad to have you back, and always a pleasure to have you join us, sir. We brought you on to discuss NV Gold's current exploration activities in Nevada and British Columbia, which shareholders, including myself, have been anxiously anticipating. But before we begin, sir, please introduce us to NV Gold.
Thanks, Maurice. It's always good to catch up. So NV Gold is a well-financed exploration company that has a large portfolio of drill-ready gold targets in Nevada, and also a recently optioned project or high-grade gold project in British Columbia, Canada, which is a new venture for us. We also have what we consider one of the best technical teams on the street, specifically focused on or with a history of gold exploration finds or experience.
You know, speaking of that technical team, all too often speculators, in my opinion, they focus just on the tangibles and they overlook those intangibles that you're referring to. I know you're a very modest person, but NV Gold has some of the most prominent, successful names as advisors and shareholders. Who are they, and what does that say to the person listening?
Yeah, great question, Maurice. I think with any junior exploration company, it's good to have money or it's good to have capital to advance your projects. I think as a small company, our goal is to, with a market cap of maybe 20 to 25 million Canadian, you need to have the technical team. You need to have members assisting you advance a project. So specifically with NV Gold, a few of our names would be Dr. Quinton Hennigh, is one of our lead technical directors. He's a member of our board, one of the founding members of our board. And Quinton's known globally. First of all, he's the chairman of Noble Resources, which is a $750 million plus company focused in Australasia, Australia. But he's also one of the lead technical directors for Irving Resources and Lion One Metals and Newfound Gold, and one of the names on the street to follow, to Google, and to learn a little bit more about his successes. A great addition to our team. In addition to Quinton, for new listeners, we also have another gentleman named Dr. Odin Christensen. He used to be the chief geologist of Newmont globally. I call him Mr. Nevada, or probably a lot of people call him Mr. Nevada or Mr. Carlin. He's been around the industry for many years. He's done lots of work globally, and more specifically in Nevada. So one of our also lead and founding members. And of course, we have a couple other members on our team. Our chairman, also our largest shareholder, who's also a geologist, masters of mineral economics from Colorado School of Mines, known in Nevada and also Colorado for many years of putting together mineral projects, helping in discoveries, buying NSRs, selling NSRs, a very valuable team member. And he has bought a lot of stock in our company and is the largest shareholder. And newest addition, another name is Al Stewart. Al Stewart is, I want to highlight Alfie, was a top broker, investment banker, and also was head of corporate compliance for the Vancouver Stock Exchange. So he's great for helping us manage our corporate governance. And the other key part of our team is they all take ownership. I mean, they're accessible. They look at what we're doing. They participate. And they're not just sitting on the board collecting fees. We don't have board fees. So great team and great to have working and assisting me to push the project forward.
Yeah, those are some intangibles you just can't put any kind of valuation on when you have successful names and they're in it to win it. Now, let's fast forward since July. The company is currently conducting 3 aggressive drill programs in pursuit of discovering high-grade gold. In Nevada, you're drilling on the Slumber and Sandy projects, respectively, and then in British Columbia on the Exodus Gold Project. Beginning with the latter, take us to British Columbia, to your maiden Exodus Gold Project, and get us up to date, sir.
Yeah, it's an exciting time here at NV Gold. When we introduced NV Gold to your listeners and followers a couple of months ago, we were preparing and putting together 3 programs. We were pushing forward on the permitting, pushing forward on the geological models. And, of any time to really just to follow, to take a look at what we're doing is now. This is probably going to be the busiest fall in NV Gold's history, with 3 projects chasing 3 high-grade gold projects in Nevada, 2 in Nevada, 1 in British Columbia. So to touch on British Columbia, again, I mentioned it was, we shouldn't have accessed or been able to auction this project because the vendor was looking for somebody with a much bigger name than me. I ran into it, PDAC. We acquired it or auctioned it in July 21st. We've done, so far since July 21st, we've completed property-wide geophysics. We've done a 2 square kilometer soil grid. We've done trenching. We've done channel samples. We've also recently, just a week and a half ago, just had a site visit from the senior geologist at Gold Spot Discoveries Corp, which is also one of our key shareholders. They have a very solid technical team. We were able to push forward for a complete overview, look at what we thought it was and what it may be. And we're actually just in the midst of, first of all, waiting for assays to come in from the soil grid, waiting for assays from the trenching and channel samples, putting together a new model, reviewing that and correlating it with the geophysics program we completed. And it's starting to look very interesting. Also, we're in the midst of completing an early engagement agreement with the Kootenay First Nation, which has been fabulous to work with, an amazing group that looks to be very supportive in what we're doing. And also, we're in the midst of permitting and really putting all this information. It's going to be pretty busy at Access over the next, I would say, the next month, leading to a drill program for our maiden drill program, testing the high-grade gold assays that were received on the project prior to us receiving it, putting all the assays together, drilling approximately 1,500 meters in 8 or 10 holes in sometime in November this year.
You referenced the results. When should we expect those?
I would suspect, probably by the end of October, first week in November. We like to, so first of all, they're still flowing in. And as we get them in, for me personally, I don't like to put out assays until we understand how they're working. And plus when we have them all, because they work together to create a model to ensure we don't mislead the investor or new investors or listeners. We put that together and then we apply it to a model and then it makes sense. And then we'll have some really good updates near the end of October, first week in November.
Mr. Ball, I got to commend you. That is very, very responsible because I see the opposite occurring so often. It's misleading. You get focused just on one great result, but what does the rest of the picture look like? Well, we're just focusing on that one good result. And it's misleading, mischaracterization of the project. And it's really disappointing to shareholders because they get spoofed, basically. And here you're taking a very proactive and responsible approach, and I have to commend you on that, sir.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one hole, one assay, one soil, one channel sample, it doesn't mean anything. You need a model. I mean, our team is known as being very responsible in regards to how we discuss or share or highlight results. And it's really, we're large shareholders ourselves. I mean, myself, I'm in the top 5 shareholders of the company. The chairman's the largest. It's key, accuracy and responsibility to shareholders. And that's why 43101 was built many years ago.
Let's move south to the second drill program in Nevada. Take us to the Sandy Gold Project, which you're doing some follow-up drilling on from the 1990s. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So quick recap. Sandy Project, we acquired for $2,000 worth of staking from our database. It was the first box that we opened out of the USMX database, which is a large database that we purchased a couple of years ago for pennies on the dollar. I think we spent about $30,000 on the entire hundreds of boxes of data. So back in the 90s, it was drilled, had 17 drill holes, and anytime you find a project in Nevada with greater than 1 gram of gold over a number of meters, you better grab it. So we staked it, and the very same day, I've mentioned this a few times, the very same day we staked this project, that afternoon, a company called Eclipse Gold Mining staked the entire valley right over top of us and has raised $20 million advancing their project in and around us. So here we are, looking at some historical holes. We did a site visit this summer. COVID kind of pushed us off by a couple of months, but everything's going ahead full steam now. Did a property visit. We recently just completed a property-wide geophysics mag-EM radiometric survey. And again, the experts from Gold Spot Discoveries, their senior geophysicists working with our technical team in Nevada, were assisted our team in putting together a multi-hole RC, or reverse circulation drill program. And we're going to be starting that very soon. And that's exciting for our shareholders. And it's our first program on the project since the 90s. And it's our first program out of the 3 from Sandy, Slumber, and Exodus.
Sorry for the interruption, folks, but I do want to remind you, everything we're covering today with Mr. Ball, you can find in the description box below. And if you like our content, I would appreciate if you give us a thumbs up. Now, back to the interview. Oh, that's good stuff. Moving on to the third and final drill program, let's visit the Slumber Gold Project, where things looked very promising in 2019, where MV Gold may have just been short of a potential discovery.
Yeah, this is an interesting project. A little quick history again. Slumber was brought to us by Dr. Quinton Hennigh. Quinton Hennigh knew of this project in another life about 20 years ago. He noticed in 2019 that he knew the vendors. He reached out to them on behalf of NV Gold, and we were able to purchase the project through a lease agreement. So we control now 100% of the project. So last year, we went in following up again from some drilling done in the 90s in good lengths of low-grade mineralization from nearly 20 years ago. But Quinton always thought, and on our technical team, after reviewing it together, believed that maybe we were on top of something. So we decided to do a very focused small budget, because we like to ensure we maximize the capital. And we put about 6 holes into the project after doing a quick surface mag geophysical survey. This project is geologically similar to the project Sleeper, which was one of the highest grade gold projects ever drilled or discovered or mined in the state of Nevada, just west of Winnemucca. The first few thousands of tons mined from the Sleeper was 15.7 ounces of gold per ton. So here we are, just west, same rock, same stage rocks, same alteration, a lot of the very same geological similarities in the mag low in the center. So we did the 5 holes, and the market didn't care last year. A bunch of low-grade hits over long lengths. But if you go back to a release we had back in the fall of 2019, where Quinton Hennigh put out a quotation in a press release stating that we believe, based on what we're seeing, we're on top of what we believe a potential robust gold system at depth. So very interesting. People don't like low grade, but we think we're on top of something that just may be similar to Sleeper, which is exciting at any level, noting Sleeper's grade that I just mentioned. So again, delayed by a couple of months from the COVID, we were able to complete what is called a CSAMT geophysical survey, which really just gives, and in layman's words, a vertical view of potential opportunities at depth beneath the surface, up to 500 meters at depth. So in our presentation, if anybody wants to visit our site under nbgoldcorp.com, go to the presentation section, look for Slumber, and you'll see some historical holes from the 90s, which is the vertical hole on one of the slides, and you'll see some angled holes. and you'll see that we appeared to just have stopped the program a few meters. We're not sure how many meters it is. Might be 50, might be 100, from a potential large system immediately below our holes. So long story short, we're just waiting for permitting, which we expect to happen really quickly here. We're going to be at site probably by the end of October, prepping the pads, and we're putting down, planned right now, 9 holes of about 1,000 feet each. It looks really exciting, and it's always good to see when all your team agrees on what may lay beneath your historical hole. So again, that's our goal, is to make a discovery. This might be the one. So we'll see. We'll cross our fingers.
And that's not just any name. We're talking about Dr. Quinton Hennigh. I always like to say the Dr. Quinton Hennigh. I mean, that's a lot of credibility there. Sleeper isn't part of NV Gold. But how many grams was that again? You didn't say grams. You said ounces. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was 15.7 ounces. So if you times it by 31.1, that's how many grams it was. So the math's pretty easy. I'll let people do it. So it's exciting. I mean, it's a model that we've been looking at for a year. And, we had one of the top geophysicists who runs the CSAMT surveys. With his many years of experience, when everyone's looking around the table and somewhat excited on the telephone about what could be beneath. Again, this is exploration. We're here to test these opportunities, and we're going to test Slumber in November. That's our goal.
That's why we're so glad to have you. You can't get this in a press release. All right.
Absolutely not. No.
Switching gears, looking at numbers, Mr. Ball, what is the current capital structure for NV Gold?
Yeah, the capital structures, we're just sub of 65 million. I think we have about 64.5 million shares outstanding. We have some 20-cent, 9 million 20-cent warrants, nearly 100% in the money, which will bring in about $1.7 million when executed over the next year or so, which is always advantageous to our Treasury. And special note on the options, if anybody wants to do some due diligence on how we price options here at NV Gold, an example is what we did last Friday, about a week ago. When we were trading and dipped down to 26 cents, we actually priced our options at a 43% premium to the market, because we like to align ourselves with shareholders who happen to purchase the stock a little higher. So we priced the options at 40 cents. I think in the previous option allotments, we did it at a 50% and a 35% premiums also. So we don't take advantage of dips. We actually, we're aiming not for pennies, we're aiming for dollars here. So let's make sure that we price them high.
Sticking with the capital structure, the company upgraded to the OTCQB, is that correct?
Yeah, we are in the midst and finalizing the application. We expect to be on the OTCQB. We have a lot of great new shareholders from the United States, especially some high-profile funds, institutions, and high-net-worth investors that have been getting into the company from the last financing, which we just completed on August 21st, where we raised very quickly over $3 million, which we stopped. We had a lot of interest above that, but again, managing dilution is key. So yeah, OTCQB coming soon.
And talking about the Treasury, looking at the burn rate, how's the Treasury being impacted from the drilling programs?
Yeah, so we're looking at the budget, which we try to take a close look on a weekly and biweekly with our budget committee. First of all, we have no debt. We pay every bill usually within the week to ensure that we carry zero balance on that side. As we push forward with approximately just under 3 million, I think it's about 2.9 as of about a couple of days ago, I would suspect after we've completed all the 3 drill programs, which are going to commence in October, November, assays out in January is our best guess after we do the model and review the assays, we should have, other than the 1.7 million of warrants fully in the money, we probably have about 1.6 to 1.8 in the bank if we run the budget the way we hope to, which will probably give us a lot of extra money to complete second rounds on any of these projects, which again in BC, the BC project, we're right next to highway, right next to power grid, right next to the city. you can drive and get your Tim Hortons and stay at an Airbnb and head to site at the Exodus Gold Project. We're not like the Golden Triangle. We can drill all year.
In closing, sir, what keeps you up at night that we don't know about?
Well, we're in a cycle that happens once in a lifetime. And to ever be involved with such an amazing company as NV Gold, to be cashed up in a bull market with gold price rising, drilling 3 programs in 2 months, having one of the busiest exploration seasons at this company's history, I don't want to go to bed. I want the next day to come so we can get going on our projects. It's all happening really starting immediately at Sandy. And then we're going straight up to Slumber. And we're going straight up, or we'll be at the Exodus. So nothing really keeps you up at night. I don't get much sleep anyways. I love what we do. I'm going to capitalize on this market. And as a big shareholder of NV Gold, the key thing is I want to be accessible. I want to be transparent, and I want to be available for our shareholders, new shareholders, people who just want to phone and ask what we're doing. So just pushing forward.
Last question, sir. What did I forget to ask?
You forgot to ask me how can new shareholders, existing shareholders get a hold of me. And really, if anybody wants to phone me, the 888 number, 1-888-363-9883, goes directly to my cell phone. I answer everybody back within an hour if I'm not in a meeting or on a Zoom call. Or just email me, peter@nvgoldcorp.com. I like to be the most accessible and transparent CEO in the mining industry. I want to be there for the shareholders because I know what it's like. I'm a big shareholder too.
Mr. Ball, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. Wishing you and NV Gold the absolute best, sir. NV Gold trades on the TSX.V symbol NVX and on the OTCQB symbol NVGLF. NV Gold is the sponsor of Proven and Probable, and we are proud shareholders for the virtues conveyed in today's message. Before you make your next bullion purchase, make sure you call me. I'm a licensed representative to buy and sell physical precious metals through Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, where we have several options to expand your precious metals portfolio, from physical delivery to offshore depositories and precious metal IRAs. Give me a call at 855-505-1900, or you may email maurice@milesfranklin.com. Finally, please subscribe to Proven and Probable for mining insights and bullion sales. Subscription is free.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.